How to move on after getting cheated on? 2 years ago, I discovered that my boyfriend of 3 years had been cheating on me. The moment I found out, my world shattered. I wasn't the same person anymore. For 2 years, we were together, and then we transitioned into a long distance relationship. I naively believed that distance would bring us closer, that the longing would strengthen our bond. But 6 months in, something shifted. He became distant and emotionally absent. I felt the change, sensed the neglect, but refused to accept the truth staring me in the face. I was in love, blinded, foolish, and willing to excuse every red flag. Even when I caught him lying, I convinced myself he just needed space to admit his mistakes. I never questioned his integrity, never allowed myself to believe he was capable of such betrayal. I endured months of excruciating pain from gallbladder stones, nights without sleep, crying through the agony. I told him about my suffering, but he dismissed it, never once showing real concern. When I finally had surgery, he didn't even come to see me in the hospital. Still, I held on to hope. Maybe if I saw him, if we spent time together, things would return to how they were, so I traveled across the country, 2,400 kilometers, just to be with him. But the moment I arrived, I knew. He was cold, distant, unable to even look me in the eyes. He didn't hug me when he saw me, just stood there as I waited, foolishly hoping for warmth. During my 5 days with him, we were intimate only twice, both times initiated by me, and it was the most soulless experience I had ever endured. 2 weeks after returning home, the truth hit me like a freight train. He had installed Tinder. He had been seeing another woman for over 6 months. He had even gotten her pregnant, only to abandon her because of supposed regret. I wish that had been the worst of it. But then she sent me proof. Photos of them together in the same bedroom where I had stayed, at the same restaurants and places he once took me. I remember staring at those pictures, bile rising in my throat, my body shaking with disgust. I had never felt so violated, so repulsed, so utterly betrayed. For 6 months after, I was unrecognizable to myself. I screamed into my pillow at night. I questioned my worth. I crumbled under the weight of my self-blame. It has been 2 years now, and while I have grown, while I have cut him out of my life completely, the betrayal still lingers like a wound that refuses to heal. I don't miss him. I don't love him anymore, but the damage remains. I never got closure. The last time I heard his voice was 3 years ago, in a pathetic phone call where he sobbed and apologized. But by then, it didn't matter. The damage was done. I tried to move on, hookups, dating, but none of it worked. I still blame myself for being so blind, so naive. I wonder if I will ever be able to trust again and if I will ever have the energy to invest in another relationship. I want to. But my mind is tangled in the wreckage he left behind. How long does it take to truly heal? Will I ever get past this suffocating weight in my chest? I thought I had clawed my way out of the darkness, but as life moved forward, I felt myself slipping again. How do people move on? How do they find the best version of themselves after being shattered like this? Yes, I've learned my lesson, but what about the scars left behind? The insecurities, the constant fear of not being enough? How do you deal with the knowledge that one person has the power to ruin you?